We have all had a chance to see his updates on Facebook. This week, we had a chance to sit down and give you a little insight into the man behind our Facebook page for the Aruba Surf Club, Charles Asch.
Just to start off, first of all, your first memories of Aruba.
You know, my wife and I came before we had kids, like 16 years ago, when we were pregnant with our first. And and I shared the story before that we fell in love. We came on a 5-day trip, and we decided we'd come back again when our now 16-year-old was 6 months old. And we stayed at the Westin, and at 8 o'clock we would shut the light off because I needed my kid to keep a regular schedule. And we decided we'd take a tour of the surf club and immediately fell in love with the 2-bedroom concept, full kitchen and washer dryer, and did the math and seemed to make sense. But coming from the Northeast, living in New York, being an easy flight, pretty much guaranteed weather, and the incredible turquoise blue water, and the fabulous locals, and the safety, and the great food. I mean, there was nothing negative about coming here. And 16 years later, we continue to come. Shortly after we purchased, we actually invited my parents, who were both divorced and remarried, and along with my mother-in-law, and we all jammed into an all of us into the 2-bedroom, and so we stayed for 2 weeks. The family stayed for the first week because I needed a week to recover after spending that week with them in close quarters. But yeah, my mother would come, with her husband, my stepfather, repeatedly on cruises, and we'd spend days with them, and and watching my kids grow up here from the age of 6 months old, both my daughters. There's nothing like it. It's truly our home, away from home, and my kids, feel like they've grown up here and know the resort, they know the staff, and there's no better feeling. The funny story that when we toured the place is I'm like, and I grew up traveling to different islands year after year with my family. I'm like, why would I want to come back to the same island year after year? And as we walked out after our presentation and had a tour of the property, we chatted with various owners around the pool, because at that time they were just building the Spyglass Tower. And that was my question. I mean, it's a big world, a lot of great traveling. And 16 years later, 20 trips to the island, and we still explore different places, but I still get those goosebumps as I see, as we approach, as I sit on the left side of the plane. I still get that same excitement if I was, recently here. It's every time is like the first time.
What led to the website? Obviously, you've been on Facebook, and I'm curious as to how you got involved in sharing this with the group of owners and others here.
So, years ago as an owner, I stumbled onto a group that was very small. I think there was maybe 800 members. And the administrator, the individual that started the page, was looking for help, wanted to step back. So me and another individual kind of took over the group, and we worked together. I did most of the heavy lifting. And then over time, as I grew the group, our belief systems and philosophies on how to run a group and how to treat other people changed, and I decided it was time to start a new group and go out on my own, which I did 2.5 years ago, and in a short 2.5 years. So really, the group for me is, and I say it all the time, is about members helping members. And it started off not just as an owner's group, because, one, it's tough to vet people, and how do you prove if someone's an owner or not? And as far as I'm concerned, the property is for owners, it's for guests, and it's for staff. And for me, that's really, and especially the last year and a half, has been my primary focus, is the locals, the staff, and trying to give back. And I, they say, why do you do this? And they've brought so much joy and happiness to us and so many others for so many years, that it's just a small way of giving back to the resort, the staff and the island and the locals. It's just my way of showing gratitude.
I have to ask how much time you spend a day or per week. It seems like you're always on Facebook.
Facebook, I know the illusion that I'm always on it is there, and I guess my wife would say it appears that I'm always on it. But there's Facebook tools that allow me, when I'm up at 5 a.m. in the morning, to schedule a half a dozen posts. So I'm able to walk away. So at 6:45, you'll see a fitness schedule. At 7 o'clock, a birthday thing, and 8:30, tribute to a staff member, and so on and so on. And all of these things I schedule at usually 5 a.m. in the morning, and they just will post themselves. Any post approvals, when the pandemic hit, I thought it was time to put post approvals on. There were some questionable things. I wanted to keep it friendly and minimize conflict, and post approvals allowed me to do that. So I have somebody that assists me. That's another longtime owner, Cindy Atrovsky, and she's a longtime owner of here down at Renaissance. And when I traveled overseas in 2019 and realized there was a 12-hour time difference, that I could not manage this alone, and I said, would you be willing to assist? And she said yes, and she's been my right-hand person. And so I generally, approve most posts unless I'm scuba diving or busy with work and meetings, and I have a real job, in spite of what people might think. But when the post comes up for approval, I generally have the answer, and if I'm too busy, I'll just set it free, and the other members will, I know always will chime in. Otherwise, I provide, for me, it's all about timely, factual, real-time information, which has been very helpful. But again, it's members helping members, so I can't take all the credit. It's our almost 16,000 other people in the group that help each other out, and it's like a big family. And so getting to meet people like you, longtime members, that has been a name and a picture in our group for so many years, really has been so special, especially this time around. This is what makes it extra special for me.
And one final thought, anything else that you would like to share with members of the group as we conclude this?
Listen, I don't think I need to tell anyone how much I love the place. I constantly repeat it. The place, there's if you can't have a nice time and enjoy being in Aruba or at the surf club, then I don't know where you can have a great time. So, the place really can do no wrong. I have a sense of pride, of ownership, and and I couldn't be more proud of the staff and our community that really continues to thrive. And it's a great group. It's a great resource, and that's really why I started and what it's all about. And sure, I like to be silly and have fun and joke around, but at the end of the day, it's about helping other people and providing some good information. And that's it. I mean, this is only Facebook. At the end of the day, we're not saving lives here. We're having fun, and we're sharing a common bond and the love of Aruba and the surf club, and we get to meet nice people and interact with others, and that's really what this is all about.